I'm Alan Johnson, KU2Y, and I'm going to give the AMSAT Education Update. I'm the Vice President for Educational Relations here at AMSAT, and I'm also an Associate Teaching Professor at Villanova University in Pennsylvania. And I'm very sorry that I'm not able to be in person at the symposium. But anyway, happy to give a brief video update for you here. So some of the topics give you some of the news, some of the things that have gone on for the past 12 months. Talk about the CubeSat Sim in the classroom, in events. Also talk about the new educational materials team that's been formed, and you'll get to hear from Paul Graveline, one of the members of that team. And then I'll be giving a CubeSat Sim project update. And go through what's been going on in detail with that project. So some AMSAT education news. The CubeSatSim project is still going quite well. I'll be demoing my CubeSatSim here as we go through this presentation. The AMSAT loaners continue to be used. Their usage is starting to ramp up with things in schools and universities starting to return to normal. In the AMSAT store, we still have the printed circuit board sets, so you can order up blank PCBs and build your own CubeSat Sim. We've also made some CubeSat Sim Lite betas available in the store and also at Hamvention as well. There's a new discussion forum on GitHub with builders exchanging ideas, troubleshooting each other's sims, things like that. So if you're interested, you can join that. Also done a little bit of high altitude ballooning in relation to AMSAT. We did fly a CubeSat Sim Lite on a Villanova high altitude balloon this year and learned some important things from it. There's also been a journal article about high altitude balloons and also about repurposing National Weather Service radio sondes. So if you're interested in ballooning, which is a great educational outreach tool, then you can find those articles. So a little update on the CubeSat Sim in the classroom. This spring at Villanova University, after a few years of not doing it, we did our CubeSat mini project, and we built 6 CubeSat Sims in 3 different classrooms, and went really well. We've written an article in the AMSAT journal describing how we did CubeSat Sim building in a classroom setting, how we broke it up into sub-teams and organized things that way. So if you're interested in doing working with the CubeSat Sim in a group or in a classroom, that article could be useful to you. In addition, the University of Colorado Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering Department in Colorado Springs has built 5 CubeSat Sims under Dr. Lynn-Ann George, and they're incorporating the CubeSat Sim into their curriculum. Hoping to have more details about what they're doing to share in the coming months. And also there's some other projects ramping up. There's high schools in Colorado that are starting to build them, and a university in Washington State as well. So looking for more information. And if you would like to get the CubeSat Sim in your classroom, I would love to hear from you. I would love to help you out any way that I can. So the CubeSat Sim has been at a number of different events. It was at Hamcation, thanks to Randy Berger, WA0D, and also our president, Robert Bankston, KE4AL. So it was at both the ARIS booth and the AMSAT booth. It was at Hamvention. It was great to be back in person there. We did a lot of demos. We had a selfie SSTV station, and we had a build your own CubeSat activity. Thanks to Jack Spiznazel, KD4IZ, for his help, and also the Villanova students for helping me staff the education table. Again, Tom Schussler and 5HYP organized an AMSAT table at the Frontiers of Flight Moon Day STEM event in Dallas, Texas, and he did a great job with that as always. And also Frederick Robb, KK6NOW, presented and demoed the CubeSat Sim at the Satellites and Education Conference at Cal State Los Angeles. So that's a very good group for us to be involved with, and he made some really good contacts there. So thank you for Frederick for doing that. And then finally, fulfilling one of our goals for the AMSAT education, Sopwith N1SPW, who's been a CubeSat Sim builder for beta builder for quite a while and has provided great feedback and support. He organized and staffed a table at the Orange County Maker Faire in Los Angeles, California. So he ran the whole thing himself and did a bunch of STEM outreach. So that was really great. You know, one of our goals is to get the CubeSat Sim into the maker community, to get to a wider audience and let them know about amateur satellites and amateur radio. So thank you, Sopwith, for doing that. And again, if you have an event coming up that you'd like to get the CubeSat Sim at, we have loaners to ship. I can support you in many different ways. So please get in touch with me. So one of the big things for the past year has been a new educational materials team that's been formed. So we have these 4 volunteers there: Paul Graveline, K1YUB, who you'll hear from in a minute. Frederick Robb, KK6NOW, Mark Samus, KD2XS, and David White, WD6DRI. Apologies for his call sign getting overlapped there. You know, we've known for a long time that having classroom activities, having lesson plans, having experiments published for the CubeSat Sim is key to getting it into the classroom. And this team is making a first draft at these. So hopefully you will see materials from them, and hopefully you will help review and critique these materials as we push for the CubeSat Sim to be shared more widely. Okay, so now I'm going to give an update on the CubeSat Sim project itself. So first, I want to just call out the whole CubeSat Sim project team. There's quite a few of us working on this project, and we would not accomplish what we accomplished without them. In terms of the hardware team, there's Jim McLaughlin, KI6ZUM, and David White, WD6DRI. They've worked with me for many years to develop the hardware. I've written most of the software myself for the CubeSat Sim. The educational materials team that I just introduced, Sopwith has contributed a lot of documentation, as well as doing the maker outreach there. Lots of beta builders who have helped out and provided comments. So thank you to all of them. The students at Villanova University who have provided feedback on many things, and also Melissa Poor, KM4CZN, her students at Bishop O'Connell High School in Arlington, that should say Arlington, Virginia, not Texas. I will fix that. And then finally, CAD support from Lindsay White, KI6LZN, and also RF and filter design testing from Randy Stedeke, KQ6RS. So thank you to the whole team. We would not be where we are today without your volunteer efforts. Okay, so what is the CubeSat Sim? Most of you are probably familiar with it, but it's the core of our education program to evangelize science and technology, and in particular, radio science and radio satellites. And the audience we see, university engineering programs, of course, the amateur radio community, STEM programs, and also some non-traditional spaces like libraries, museums, and maker fairs. So the CubeSat Sim itself here, I have mine here. I'm going to take the remove before flight switch out and power it up, so we will hear it as it starts transmitting. but it's a low-cost, fully functional satellite emulator that has solar panels, working batteries, and transmits real telemetry. Inside, it has a 3-board stack. It's powered by a Raspberry Pi Zero single board computer. It's got an Arduino compatible microcontroller, voltage and current sensors, and environmental sensors too. And it transmits telemetry in the 70 centimeter amateur radio band in UHF. And you can, oh, there it goes. So you can hear its CWID as it gets going. And just in terms of a little bit of detail about what the boards do, the main board, it's got voltage and current sensors, does battery charging, has a boost regulator, and the Raspberry Pi Zero plugs into it. The battery board, it uses nickel metal hydride batteries, and we use those for safety. They're much safer than lithium batteries. And it's charged either by the solar panels in the sunlight or with a USB-C charger. And then finally, the STEM payload board. Now you can hear, this is the CubeSatSim transmitting in, this is data under voice frequency shift keying mode. So this is the rumble that we used to hear all the time on the Fox 1 FM CubeSats. And just looking at it here in OpenWebRX there. And I'll just change modes here. And in terms of the ground station, in order to receive the signals, you can either use the pre-built Fox in a box, run it on a Raspberry Pi, and it includes all the software that you need to do things. Or you can install your own software on your own PC. And the great thing is that it transmits real telemetry, and you use the same tools that we use for our on-orbit satellites. So it basically trains you to receive real satellite telemetry. So this slide lists all the different modes here. So we've heard a number of them. This mode here is BPSK. It should come up in a minute here, maybe. Don't see it there. There it goes. That's the noisy sound of BPSK. I'm going to switch it to APRS mode so you can hear the packets as they come through. So a little bit about the project status. Over 100 CubeSat Sims have been built, we estimate. They've been demonstrated at all kinds of different events. And as I mentioned, the lesson plans are under development. And we also have loaners available for if you want to borrow one for your Hamfest, for your school, for your scout troop, for whatever you want. There we go. That's the APRS packets. And if you want to build your own, the PCB sets are available on the AMSAT store. I'm going to finally put it into slow scan TV mode here. There we go. And in slow scan TV mode, it snaps a picture with this Pi camera every 30 seconds and then transmits it as a SCSI to slow scan TV image. And then finally, we've also made available some CubeSatSim beta light boards. And a light board just transmits simulated telemetry. Doesn't have any sensors or solar panels or anything like that. So it's just a super low cost way to get involved. There we go. That's our slow scan TV signal there. Okay, I'll mute that there since it gets kind of annoying. Okay, so some of the challenges with the project. The global supply chain issues just continue to, anybody that works in the electronics or probably any manufacturing is experiencing this. It's just a nightmare. Some of this is just continually updating the bill of materials as different, finding alternate suppliers. The one we have not been able to find an alternate for is Raspberry Pi computers. The CubeSat Sim uses a Pi 0 or a Pi 02, and they are really difficult to find right now. The ground station ideally uses a Pi 3B or 4B, but there are alternatives. You can install your own software, but you need a Pi 0 or 02. And unfortunately, this problem is probably going to persist for another 12 months at least. So what we've been doing as a team, we've been extremely active lately. We're developing a CubeSatSim Pico board that uses the Raspberry Pi Pico microcontroller instead of the Pi 0. So there's a photo of one of our prototypes there. So it's pretty exciting. The only downside is that we can't use all the libraries we're using on the Pi 0. And so it's required a lot of hardware and software development. But we are hoping to release a beta by the end of the year, and in early 2023 have a new version that does not require a Raspberry Pi 0. And the goal is to basically just replicate the same functionality. So you could build either version, and it would have the same set of features. In the future, we'll need to decide which version supports what going forward. So next steps, I just mentioned the Pico and the version 2 hardware in 2023. Also, we're going to have a light version as well, so a low-cost version that just transmits simulated telemetry. And with this redesign, we're taking the opportunity to investigate fully assembled hardware, which is something that we've wanted to before. So using surface mount soldering to do that. And in terms of the future, we're hoping to support the CubeSat Sim in more classrooms, support it at more events through loaners, continue the developing of educational materials, and hopefully start publishing those materials in 2023 with your feedback and help. So if you're interested, it'd be great for you to get involved. We always love more people. You can participate on social media, post what your activities are with the hashtag CubeSatSim. You can borrow a loaner. Any AMSAT member can loan it, just need to get in touch with me. And you can also do outreach too, in terms of identifying universities, colleges, schools, youth groups, museums and libraries, anybody you think might be interested. Eventually we'll have sort of outreach packets that you can use for making this contact. But identifying them now is great too. And of course you can build one if you want to. It costs about $400 in parts, and it's fully open source. And for educational projects, I do have some workarounds for getting Pi Zeros. Just get in touch with me and explain your project, and we can go from there. Okay, so unfortunately I can't be there for a live back and forth, but any discussion you might have at the symposium, I'm sure it will get back to me. You can also send me emails at ku2y@arrl.net. Anyway, thank you very much, and hope to see you in person next time.